Hey, what's going on everyone? Sparks again with another character discussion video. First was the younger brother, and then came the nephew, and now we have the oldest member of the Harvey family, Golbez, getting some time in the spotlight. Just like his brother, he gets an LD and a burst, but unlike him, he also got a slight rework. Never one to outgrow the sheer cool that is the dragon companion, I threw tickets at him and managed to get his LD, giving this man in black armor a bit more purple to him. So if you want to know what the Final Fantasy Darth Vader does, what he offers to a team, and what I think of him, stick around and find out. Golbez is a dark focus attacker, and in his base kit is actually mixed damage types, doing both physical damage and magic damage. This isn't an issue though, since all of his moves are dark elemental and he can easily apply a dark imperil, with his skill 1 focusing on one target and his skill 2 as a group option. His EX helps his longevity thanks to a free skill cast as well as helping him improve his damage output, and his LD does the same while also giving him HP damage return after his turns. His skill 1 is Rising Wave, which in its base form is a 2-hit dark melee attack followed by a 2-hit dark magic attack with HP splash from the final hit. This will grant Golbez 2 buffs, Man in Black Armor, which raises his max bravery and attack, and a stack of Shadow Dragon. Shadow Dragon stacks to 3 and has increasing boost to his max bravery, attack, and both of his skills. At 2 stacks, this becomes Rising Wave Plus, which adds an additional 2-hit dark melee attack, and at 3 stacks, this becomes Rising Wave 2 Plus, which adds another hit to each set of attacks, 9 total hits and 3 HP attacks. The base form and the plus form will apply Shadow Dragon, while the 2 plus form will not, but that's not really an issue since the buff is unlikely to ever fall off. His skill 2 is Glare Hand, which starts off as one group dark melee attack, applies a dark imperil to all targets, then does one group dark magic attack. This attack will similarly grant Golbez Man in Black Armor and a stack of Shadow Dragon. The plus form of this skill adds an additional group melee dark attack, while the 2 plus form adds one more hit to each part, totaling 6 hits and 3 HP attacks. His EX is Twin Meteor, truly an Opera Omnia classic. The base attack is 5 group dark magic hits done twice, applying a dark imperil after the first set of attacks and doing split HP damage. This will max out and refresh Golbez's stacks of Shadow Dragon, meaning you should have no issues maintaining it. The EX Plus isn't overly complicated, but is still quite good for Golbez's damage output and skill longevity. Realization improves the potency of the hits, but more importantly gives him a free skill cast after EX. 1 ingot is a good stat boost, offering more to max bravery, which is nice with how easy it is to fill his bravery in a group setting. 2 ingots gives him 1 stack of Shadow Dragon at the start of the quest, but also full EX gauge, so really your opener should always be EX for the free skill afterwards and maxing out Shadow Dragon. Additionally, it gives him a new EX buff, Atonement for Hatred, which improves his stolen overflow and greatly improves his weakness damage done. 3 ingots adds another meteor drop to the EX cast, totaling 15 hits with 3 HP attacks. With part of Crystal level 90 being changes to EX Plus passives, I hope one thing they do for Golbez when he gets his is change the name to Triple Meteor. His LD is Black Fang, 4 group dark magic hits done 4 times, applying a dark imperil after the first HP attack and doing split HP damage. This will extend all of his current buffs 2 turns, max out his stacks of Shadow Dragon, and also grant him the Black Fang buff, which raises his HP damage done and gives him HP damage return at the end of his turns. The LD and extension passive greatly raise his attack, give him starting Man in Black Armor and Black Fang, and improve Shadow Dragon at 3 stacks by adding Brave and HP damage resist and boosting his gains from doing Brave hits. I don't have it right now, but his burst finisher is Twin Moon, 15 group dark magic hits that deal total damage to all targets. The attack boosts from the burst aura aren't extensive, focusing on brave damage and overflow with no boost to HP damage in any way. However, the main selling point of his burst aura, I feel, is the Brave Freeze aura while it's active, which prevents all forms of enemy brave gain. Golbez feels like one of those damage dealers who's never going to wow you with his abilities, but can consistently give himself good damage output in the right scenarios. His longest single string of attacks is 5, but that being a group attack means reaching overflow bravery shouldn't be an issue. Rising Wave, his main single target move, is only a 3-hit string. So what gives with this man? Well, he's got 2 main things that keep up his damage output. For one, there's the HP damage return provided by Black Fang. In a well-made party with attack auras and damage boosting, even against the gain reductions of Lufenia, this will serve to give him a better first set of attacks. In addition to that, and improving all of his brave hits, there's one of the boosted effects he gains in Shadow Dragon, where he gains extra bravery higher than what the damage value he does is when hitting weakness. If you're not sure what it does, it's just a little additional modifier that increases the amount of bravery you get based on what brave damage you did. Say you do 1000 brave damage, Golbez's boost will get you 1200 bravery instead. Simple as that. That, combined with his sizable 50% weakness modifier, greatly improves his damage when he can hit weakness. That, right there, is easily his biggest issue right now and moving forward. While he can easily apply his Imperil with his Skill 2, EX, and LD, it's a generic debuff, meaning it's very susceptible to being pushed off, and as we enter the period of the game where there are very useful LD calls that are stacked for damage boosting effects, Golbez losing out on all of that extra damage weakens him greatly. With all that being said, Golbez has already been rerun in Japan, getting his Burst Plus opposite Caius' Burst introduction. He did not get any core adjustments, but he did get some changes in his LD extension to boost his damage further to combat the higher reductions of Lufenia Plus. The LD cast itself is given more overflow to further capitalize on his ability to fill in the right scenarios. The Black Fang buff gets some improved effects, namely a higher HP damage boost, more Brave Return at the end of his turns, and more Stolen Overflow. Lastly, Shadow Dragon at 3 stacks gets an improved weakness bravery boost, basically giving him a 1.5 times boost to the bravery he gets from his attacks. As for the Burst Plus, it's not extensive honestly. The attack is changed into a double cast 8-hit attack, while the aura improves his single hit limit and greatly boosts party attack, but no change to HP damage otherwise. Still rather situational as a burst, but you know, if you get it, you get it. With the arrival of C90 Awakenings, as I mentioned earlier, characters get changes to their EX ability, and from the looks of it, they're also open to adjusting things about other parts of their kit, such as adding more passive damage boosts. With that in mind, I think the most obvious thing Golbez would want is being able to consistently hit his Imperil. Either make it framed, or even better, attach an Aura Dark Imperil to one of his EX buffs. More Stolen Overflow would give him even more potential bravery to fill, while increasing his gained bravery would help counteract gain reductions in Lufenia Plus. Something that would be quite good would be adding an HP damage return effect after all HP attacks, not just at the end, or giving him a Brave Floor effect similar to Vaughn. His hit counts and efficiency otherwise are already decent, his damage is just highly dependent on being able to hit weakness, and making that Imperil unavoidable would make him a much more consistent unit. As has already been explained, Golbez is rather dependent on being able to hit weakness to keep up his damage output. 1 month ago, we had Terra get her own changes and upgrades, and is a lot easier to handle in my opinion. She does have her stacks of magic to maintain, but at worst you'll be off by like 1 skill in between EX casts, not a big deal. Next month, there's Strago, who by all regards is also an acceptably strong magic damage unit. An ability to force breaks as well as having a natural double cast mechanic along with a very healthy number of hits gives him a lot of natural power that can be further boosted nicely with auras and enchants. Is Golbez going to be a bad pickup? Certainly not. It's just a shame that so much of his power is tied to being able to hit weakness damage, even more than other elementally attuned damage units. So yeah, that's a purple Golbez. Back in the day, he was much more acceptable as a damage unit, before calls and powerful enabling frame debuffs. While he will benefit from the 8 enemy debuff change, it still might not be enough to redeem him, so to say, especially when fights begin resisting magic, resisting dark, or outright resisting all forms of debuff elemental imperil. If you can use him to his strengths in a fight, his longevity and his effective brave gain make him pretty strong. He's like an A-. The issue is, while his requirement is super simple, it's also something that fight designers like to mess with very easily. Can't hit dark weakness? Whoops, there goes Golbez's strength. He can and will work as long as the fight allows, but in any situation outside of that, I'd recommend finding an appropriate backup as soon as you can. If you like this character breakdown and want to see others like it, other Opera Omne content, or want to share your thoughts, be sure to stick around and subscribe. Discussion, likes, and shares are always appreciated, and as always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again.